All right, Shalom. This is Har One by Yasha Allah with the Jamas Lions in Camp. Want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashim Hawashai, Bahashim Harakar Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. And Shalom to you, Akim, and Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is a comment board response, and want to get right into it. This is a comment from a brother named Victor Irvin. And it says, do you think you can edify on the word queen? So, Yahweh Ratazah, I want to go into that. All right, right here you have the word queen, the etymology. And the first one I want to start with, because you have two terminologies, or two ways to view the word queen. You have one, which is just basically saying a wife of a ruler, a wife of a sovereign or of a monarch, a king, which is still a servant to the king, his wife, or he exalts her and exalts her over other women or over certain areas, that's to queen her, right? To make her his wife. But he himself would be a monarch or a ruler or a king. All right. Now it gets tricky because you have another way of looking at the word queen, which means is in the verb sense, which is an action, to be queening over something or somebody, over a man. And that's the wicked version of it. And you have also Quyan, which is Old Norse, goes back to Germany, to where Quyan or queen means whore or whorish woman. All right, so to be a queen, that's something you don't want to be. What you want to be is a daughter of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, a daughter of Zion, a daughter of Sarah, daughter of Abraham. Now, all right, to be a daughter is to be a princess. To be a princess is to be a noble woman. So I'm gonna get into it, man. So this is queen or queen. A noun, plural noun, queens, the female ruler of an independent state, especially one who inherits the position by right of birth. All right. So now, I'm gonna go to the next one. It says a monarch, a sovereign head of state, ruler, a crown, her majesty. So, what the scriptures say clearly, a woman shall not exalt authority over a man, in his order. All right, this 1 Corinthians 11:2. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. All right, ordinances, right? But I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua, right? And that's why we're his servant. All right, we're the servant to Yahushua. He look at us as a woman, a comely and delicate woman, the servant. And the head of the woman is the man. So the woman, the word woman means servant. That's our servant. So to be a queen to a king would be to be the wife of a monarch or a ruler. That will make her a queen or, and the head of Yahushua is Yahweh. All right. Now it says a king's wife. So that's what a queen is, a king's wife. All right. And the word wife. All right. This is the word wife. And it goes back to Asha, right? Asha, which means a woman. So you have a woman, which is Asha, right? It means a woman, wife, female, woman, opposite of a man. But then you convert it to a wife, it becomes a woman married to a man. All right. So a queen is the same thing that's married to a king. You see that? Female of animals, each, every pronoun. This is Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. All right. So they become a help just like us. We are a help to Yahushua, a helpmeet. This is Genesis 2 and 18. And Yahweh Elohim said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. All right. And that's why the Lord made women as a helpmeet for us upon the earth. That's why in the kingdom, we're not just going to have one wife. We're going to have multiple women. It's not going to be a reason to have a queen. You know, you're going to have wives. You might have one certain women that you exalt and raise up over the other women, but and bless them among women, but like your choice, you know. But our wives are going to be queens over nations, all right, in the sense of the word malakah. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. All right. So women were created for us. And no matter what sense we're in, if we was raised up to be kings right now, and our women as queens, they would be queens over the nations. That's just it. You know, if the man chose her to be that, not just because she with him, not just because, you know, now in the kingdom, you're gonna have a man gonna have multiple wives. All right, because we had queens, we had Israelite queens that were exalted among the heathen, you know, and that's really the one that raised up queens and praised the queen, the Egyptian queens, and bowed down to the women, the Greeks. You know, they had the time of the women ruling. Now, you had Esther, which was an Israelite. She was raised up during the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. All right, she was raised up as queen, meaning the choice of Xerxes around 483 BC. All right, because Xerxes started ruling in 486, and Esther was on the scene. That whole situation with Mordecai and I think it was Haman, the Agagite, the Edomite, and that's when you had the celebration of Pur. The lot was cast. But anyway, and that happened around 483 BC with Xerxes, and he had his queens. You know, he had queens, he had your concubines. Being a king, you're a monarch, you're a sovereign. So anything connected to you is sovereign or monarchy as well, right? Or royalty. So to classify a woman, you would classify her as a queen, or that king's or wife or woman or choice, instead of just a concubine. All right. And it was later changed to whore, which happening with Germany. All right. So let's get into it real quick. I'm not gonna get into the story, but I just want to get into the point. This is Esther 1 and 16. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes, right? You have Vashti, which was the wife of Xerxes. You know, I think she was a Persian. I can't remember. I had to look at it again, but she came out, and I mean, she didn't want to come out. He wanted to show her off to everybody, and she didn't want to come out to see him. So instead, the king Xerxes basically dethroned her, you know, and gave that position, that seat to Esther. All right. And it was all set up for prophecy for the deliverance of the children of Israel during the times of Mordecai. All right. So now it says, Vashti the queen have not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, which Ahasuerus was basically the Greek way of saying Xerxes. It says, for this deed of the queen shall come broad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. So she was disrespecting him. All right. And at that time, the women that disrespect the men the way they do today. It says, likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. So she was dethroned. So that's how a woman becomes a queen. A man chooses her and crowns her, just like Yahushua chooses us and crowns us. You know, help me. So that's just another way of saying wife in a royal sense. It would be queen. All right. All right. Now I'm gonna get this word queen in the scriptures in the Old Testament in the Hebrew. All right, and I might even get it in the Greek, but I'm gonna get it in the Hebrew real quick. All right, this is the Hebrew word for queen, and it says malakah, right, which means queen. Now, and let's get king. And this is king. And it says malak. All right. So it's a feminine word of malak. Okay. An extension of a king, which would be the woman, the servant, the one that he chose. So you can have many queens. You can have many concubines, many servants, right? Not just one. Now let's get to the tricky part, because now we know the definition of that view of the word queen. It's just a position, a status, or another way of saying woman or wife or servant to a man. All right. It depends on that man's position. All right. A status. So now you have the word queen, you have the king being sovereign. Now, are we kings and queens in this society? No. In this society, we become servants. We become slaves. All right. Or indentured servants. Now, and at one point in time, we became Gentiles. So how can we be kings? The Lord said he's going to raise us up to be kings and priests. Right now, we're priests, and we're being made to be kings someday. A king sits down and eats the fruit of their labor. Right now, we're fighting to be able to do that, to be able to sit down and eat and enjoy the reward. That's when we'll be made kings, when we're crowned by our head, by our leader, when we get a crown upon our heads. And then we'll have our queens, our women. See that? It can be multiple of those servants, women. All right. For population and entertainment and pleasure and serve, have them doing things, you know, and peace, family. Now it says, But the thing is, we're not kings in this society. Right now, we're servants to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. We're sons, becoming sons, children again. All right, newborn babes, desiring the sincere milk of the word, becoming princes and princesses. Someday to be kings and queens, man. If you want to look at it that way. But what you want to be is a princess or a daughter of Yahweh. Yasha Allah, the son, the princes of the Most High. All right. You want to be a daughter of Sarah. Now let me get in. Let me get into that. Hosea 3:4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without a teraphim. All right. So, right now we don't have any of that. We don't have the altar. We don't have a priest. All right. I mean, we didn't have an altar. We didn't have a physical altar, and we didn't have, and we still don't have a physical altar. All right. And we don't have a sacrifice, which would be like to sacrifice lamb and things like that. And we didn't have an ephod. We were Gentiles. We didn't know. We didn't have the priest going in and out for it. What we have is Yahushua. Everything's spiritual. All right. So in this society, we're nothing. But in the spirit, we're everything. In the spirit, we have all these things. We have a sacrifice, Yahushua. And our words, this work is our sacrifice. And without it, the image would be wisdom now. And or the altar, which would be in the heavens. All right. Or the camps. And without an ephod, which would be the priest. Now we have a high priest in the heavens, Yahushua. All right. And a teraphim, a healer. And our healer is Yahushua, this word, a comforter. And it says, afterwards shall the children of Israel return and seek Yahweh their power, and David their king, and shall fear Yahweh and his goodness in the latter days. And that's now. So we abode many days without these things. And now we're seeking the tabernacle of David, the love, the order of David. All right. We're seeking after, that way back to Yahweh, the truth. Now, and now we have all these things in the spirit, and that's what makes us kings and priests and princes and princesses and all this royalty and monarchy, through being connected to royalty in the spirit. All right. This is 1 Peter 3:3. So if a woman claimed to be a princess or a daughter of Yahweh, right? And a princess grows to become a what? A queen, right? A monarchy, royalty. And a prince grows to be royalty, a king. Now it says 1 Peter 3:3, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or putting on of apparel. It's like these Africans or these Egyptologists calling themselves queens, black queens, and IUIC, everybody dressing up like Israelite queens, right? Well, in this society, you fall under that status of the word queen, which would be a whore, right? Or queening over somebody, which would be the verb of it. And that's wrong. Or to be an imposter or queen, which would be vanity in this society. All right. To call yourself royalty and not having the true spirit dwelling with you. All right. Scripture says our righteousness is as filthy rags. 1 Peter 3:3. Whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or putting on of apparel. Talking about the women. But let it be the hidden man of the heart. And that's talking about the humble spirit of Yahushua, the meekness of Yahushua. That's supposed to dwell in you women if you believe. And that's what the Lord blessed you with, meekness, humbleness, right? order. If you claim to believe, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. And that's the spirit of Yahushua that's supposed to dwell in you women. You're not gonna have the wisdom. That wisdom is given to the men. All right. But you supposed to attain into a meek and quiet spirit through the learning from your man, when he teaches you through the wisdom, through instruction. All right. Which is in the sight of Yahweh of great price. I mean, that makes a woman priceless, or of high price, man. Raising the stakes on her to be saved or delivered. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women, the word holy means to be set apart. All right. Separated. The holy women also who trusted in Yahweh adorn themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. So that's what you're supposed to adorn yourself with. Because men, we get, what do you call that, man? Decorated. All right. All right. So we get dressed in the sense of like ranking, or like a priest, all the jobs in the past used to be for men. They'd be doctors or lawyers and things like that. Or a man would dress to be a priest, or just or whatever his duty was, being a man. And the women were not to wear those things. They were not to wear priestly clothing. They were only to wear fitted things, or womanly colors or drapery things to be adorned with, to adorn them. All right. So it says, where was that? For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in Yahweh adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands. All right. So being loyal to your own husband, no matter how many wives he has. In this society, a man should only deal with one woman, or maybe a few women if he chooses to, for pleasure or not. But to be safe is not even worth it, man. Just chill. But or just no woman at all. Just be about the work and business. All right, and dabble a little bit here and there with a woman. So it says, verse 6, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are. So you become a daughter. See, you become a daughter of the promise. Whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement. All right, this is the word Sarah, or Sarai, before her name was changed to Sarah, or Sharai. Right, it was Sharai, which would be princess. All right, so to be a daughter of Sarah would make you a princess, man. Make you a daughter of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua again, by being a meek and quiet spirit and a righteous, humble spirit. All right. So to be a queen shouldn't boost your ego, make you prideful, make you vain, and sticking your neck out, mincing as you go along, being cocky and prideful, queening over people. I'm a queen. It's not an action. To be a queen is a position, a status that's given to a woman to be his wife, a king's or monarchy's wife. All right. Now to be a whore is to be the old Norse Germanic terminology of the word queen. All right. But to queen over a man is wicked, over a man of Israel. A woman not supposed to raise up over men of Israel. All right, unless it's her children. All right, so Sarai, which means what? Princess. Original name of Sarah, the wife of Abraham. Look at the word Sarah. And Shara means what? Noble woman. A noble woman. Now check this out, man. This sounds way better than a damn status or position, you know, being empty but highly exalted. That's wrong. You want to be full and still be lowly and have Yahweh Bashim Yahushua raise you up. All right. So it says what? To be a noble. This is the etymology of noble. Belonging to an hereditary class with high social or political status, aristocratic. All right. Aristocratic, noble born, noble birth, titled patrician, high born, well born, gentle, humble, having or showing fine personal qualities or high moral principles and ideals. All right. So a virtuous woman. And the scriptures speak about a virtuous woman, a righteous woman, a good woman, an honorable woman, an honest woman, an upright woman, upstanding woman, decent, worthy, noble-minded, uncorrupted, anti-corruption, moral, ethical, reputable, magnanimous, unselfish, meaning not jealous. The scriptures speak about that as well in the book of Sirach. Generous, self-sacrificing, brave, right? So that's lofty, exalted, elevated, grand, sublime, imposing, dishonorable, ignoble. Oh, antonym, Salaki. So that's the opposite, to be a dishonorable, ignoble base. So, yeah, man. So that's a noble woman, to be virtuous, right? Virtuous, having or showing high moral standards, you know, basically being instructed the proper way. To be a noble means to know, to be knowledgeable. All right. And that's what Deborah was. All right. Deborah, she wasn't a queen. What it was is she was one of the last ones around that still remembered the instructions of our forefathers. And she was the only one able to tell it to the remnant that was around at that time. All right. And what the plans of Yahweh were. But Barak won the war, but it was written all about Deborah, so it'd be shown that those heathens fell to a woman. All right, what was her name? I forgot. When it was that damn heathen man that fell to all right, I'm gonna get it just so I can say the story. This is Judges 5:24. Blessed above women shall Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, be. See, but the story was written about her, Jael, the one that smote off Sisera's head. But and this was with Deborah, all right, and Barak. Just like Jael and Heber the Kenite. These are Israelites. It said, "Be blessed shall she be. Blessed shall she be above women in the tent. He asked water, and she gave him milk. She brought forth butter in a lordly dish. She put her hand to the nail, and her right hand to the workman's hammer. And with the hammer she smote Sisera. She smote off his head when he had pierced and stricken through his temple." So this Israelite woman smote off the heathen's head for the men of Israel, so we can get the victory. Go figure, right? All right, this is Amos 7:17. This is a curse that fell on the children of Israel, to where our wives became harlots in the streets. They became jealous. They became vain. And now you're going to have some that still follow the men of the Lord, and that's willing to listen to the words of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and be instructed, right, by the man, which the wisdom is going to dwell with the man. And the word wisdom means instruction. And the women need guidance, all right, by their instructors. So they're not a queen until we're in the kingdom, to be a malakah, which means to be a royalty. All right, the wife of a monarchy or a sovereign, and we're not set up as that yet. Right now, we're still uh, working. All right. Now it says Amos 7:17. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line. And thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. So our wives, our queens became harlots, man. They became queens, which means the whores. All right. Or they became oppressive queens, or they became wicked women, wicked servants. All right. Or just harlots. So for them to come back from that, they have to get with a man of the Lord and be instructed how to be clean. All right. Instructed towards the end, to the end. All right. That's why the scriptures say, the 7 women gonna flock unto one man to take away their reproach, their blame. All right. Now, this is Galatians 4:1. It says, now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all. All right. So even though we're heirs to the throne and we're going to be kings someday, we differ nothing from a servant, from a woman. All right. Or even our servants, are these heathens. All right. Or just a servant, the word servant in general. All right. This is the word servant in Greek. And it says doulos, a slave, literal or figurative, involuntary or voluntary. Frequently, therefore, in a qualified sense of subjection of or subserviency. All right. A slave, a bondman, man of servile condition. And that's what we've been set up as serfs, as servants. Not only in America, working to eat, right, as slaves at first, but now, the water to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, we have become servants to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai again. All right, to be heirs to the throne, to be princes that will become kings. All right, so the scriptures speak about us becoming servants over here. All right, in America. Ultimately, someday to be what? Rulers, to rule over the nations. All right. Judges 5:11. So we're going to have concubines, and we're going to have queens. We're going to have wives. All right, servants. To us, they're going to be called wives, but to the nations, they're going to be called queens. We're going to call them daughters of Yahweh. You see that? Judges 5:11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the place of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of Yahweh go down to the gates. And now, and that's in these times now, where we rehearse the righteous acts at the places of drawing waters, where today the drawing waters are happening out in the streets where we teach this word. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28:68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. So we haven't saw our land again, and we won't see it ever again in the condition that it was before during the time of King David and King Solomon. It's going to be better But that land gonna be destroyed ultimately. It's already destroyed now, but it's gonna be burned off the map. It's gonna be rebuilt. All right. So we haven't seen that land, and there you should be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So we came over here in a low state, all right, as bondmen and bondwomen, and that's why you have bond numbers. You even have what you call birth certificate. That's a bond, right? That's in your name. And now we're sold for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy us, man. No man delivered us or saved us, all right, or bought us out of this debt, except for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who already paid, or Yahushai, who already paid the price. He's our Redeemer, all right? So, over in this society, we're not kings until we get crowned by Yahushai. And when we get crowned, the women will be connected to what? Sovereigns, connected to a king. And they'll be able to tell a heathen that they're a queen. In the sense of being Malachi. That's what it would be called in the Hebrew. All right? Not a queen. The word queen is still Babel. All right? To queen over somebody is unrighteous. A woman's not supposed to do that. A woman's supposed to be humble and delicate. All right? If not delicate, just humble and meek. All right. Now, with that being said, you have, since we're in this lower state, our women are in an even lower state, because they're our weaker vessel. All right. So if we're not in a king or royal position, then, having raiment of royalty, we coming in the spirit of John, that's bearing the witness of the light. And John came wearing camel's hair, not royalty, not royal apparel. All right. Now it says Jeremiah 8:9, the wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of Yahweh, and what wisdom is in them. And that even went for us as well when we were in the world as being Gentiles without Yahushua in the world. All right. Now we've been given this truth. We're given an inheritance and a chance at becoming kings. All right. And princes to become kings. To be a son of Yahweh, to be called back to being a son of Yahweh again, is to have an inheritance of being a king someday. All right. Therefore will I give their wives unto others, and their fields to them that shall inherit them. For every one from the least even unto the greatest is given to covetousness, from the prophet even unto the priest, every one dealeth falsely. For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, where there is no peace. So our people became wicked. We were wicked until the Lord woke us up. All right. Ephesians 2:11. Wherefore remember that ye being in times past Gentiles in the flesh, meaning foreigners, all right? Foreigners from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, and the customs of Israel in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time ye were without Yahushai, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without Yahweh in the world. All right. But now in Yahushai, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Yahushai. And it says, for he is our peace, who have made both one and have broken down the middle wall of partition. All right. Now this is Galatians 4:3. Even so, we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. See, we were in bondage under the elements of the world until the Lord woke us up from being Gentiles. All right. And how did he do it? He's starting with the men. His voice is unto the men first. Reestablishing that royal priesthood. The tabernacle of King David. The kings, man. But when the fullness of the time was come, Yahweh sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law. That's when Yahweh was born around 4 BCE, through Mary and Joseph, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And that goes with Romans chapter 9, where the adoption was only given to the children of Israel, being adopted back, right? That middle wall of partition. And because ye are sons, see, we become sons again, and your women become daughters. That's what we want to be. Not a king or a queen in this society walking around calling, I'm a king. King of what? The king of flies, that's it. The damn devil. Wherefore thou art and because ye are sons, Yahweh hath sent forth the spirit of his son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. Wherefore thou art no more a servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. See, we become heirs to the throne, man. All right. This is heir in the Greek. And this is kleronimos. Right? Kleronimos. It says a sharer by lot. Right? And to be given a lot in the kingdom. All right. Inheritor, by implication, a possessor, one who receives by lot, an heir in messianic usage, ones that believe in the Messiah, one who receives his allotted possession by right of sonship. One who has acquired or obtained the portion allotted to him. Wow, man. All right. And that's what we hoping to attain to, our portion in the kingdom, that crown, getting crowned by Yahweh Shai. All right. And we all put in that one token of faith and praying for deliverance into the kingdom and having new bodies and being righteous. All right. And in that, this is 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. So dwell with your woman according to the scriptures. All right. Giving honor unto the wife. So don't bow down to her, but honor her. Like it says what? As unto the weaker vessel. Meaning care for her. All right. Don't be a lion in your own household. And if she believes, you teach her and you take care of her. All right. But if she doesn't believe, then you might want to distance yourself a little bit and you just pop a deal with her. And her knuckleheaded ass will probably still be saved through you. It says, likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. All right. It's like Yahweh Shai is above us and we're above the women. And as being heirs, see, they got that heir again. So they'll become a daughter, taking their rightful place as a daughter of Yahweh. And the man will take his rightful place as the son of Yahweh, being an Israelite. Ultimately, all the children of Israel are going to take their place in the kingdom. All right, 2/3 has got to die first. And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So the women are heirs together with us, all right, in the hope of salvation. The ones that believe, the believing wives. All right, so now I want to go into this version of the word queen as well, which means the verb, and the verb is the action word of queen. All right, and that's what a woman shouldn't do, to queen over someone. They can queen over these heathens in the kingdom, you know, having servants. But it says queen, third person present, queen. Number one, of a woman behave in an unpleasantly superior way towards someone. And it's supposed to say a man right there. All right, if you look up other etymologies, it'll say a woman behaving unpleasantly or queening over a man. This is 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves. See that word adorn again. To be adorned, that's for women. And men are decorated. Like, yeah, you have decorated officers, meaning ranked officers or ranked men. All right, set up as princes or priests or kings, you know. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. And remember what it said, that modest apparel really supposed to be what? The hidden man of the heart. All right, spiritual garments for a woman. If you have spiritual garments for a man, the righteousness and the laws, you know, and the truth of Yahushua, that's the garment, the righteousness. All right, righteousness for a man and righteousness for a woman. So we bear our spiritual garments today. All right, with shamefacedness, and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array, right? But which becometh women professing godliness, if you say you're spiritual, with good works, so let it be in your actions. All right. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, meaning eat up every word you can from your husband or from the man that you're learning from. All right. Because that's going to be the one that gets the wisdom and instructs you, is your instructor through wisdom. All right. To guide you to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and to help you to endure through this life, through these harsh times, and to help take away your blame. All right. Because the Lord said, what? Sin no more. So that man will help you not to sin to the best of your ability. All right. And keep you from blaspheming the truth about Yahushua. So it says, let the women learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach. So women not supposed to be teaching his word to men. All right. You can talk to women about it. You can talk to children about it maybe. But to teach another man, you're not supposed to do that. It says, nor to usurp authority over the man, see, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. All right. So a woman not supposed to raise up over a man. And that's against the scriptures. And that's unrighteous. That's wickedness. All right. A lot of women are doing that in these society, calling themselves queens. And they're truly doing that, queening over their men. To usurping authority over the men. And the men are bowing down to the women. That's out of order. That's unrighteousness. That's wickedness, folly, vanity. All right. Scriptures say it's supposed to be the other way around. And the women are supposed to be daughters, and the men are supposed to be princes or sons of Yahweh. All right. Ultimately, someday to be crowned and be raised up, and the women to be raised up with us, being fellow heirs to salvation. That's the point. This is 2 Ezra 2:44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh And now are they crowned and receive palms. All right. And that's the goal, to get to that point right there, to have new immortal bodies in righteousness and having the laws written in our inward part, after confessing the name of Yahweh in the world. And now, and at that point, we'll be crowned and receive palms, man. All right. And that's when our women will be exalted with us, man, and our children. All right, I'm going to end it with this. Now, this is the one a lot of people always talk about. This is Quian, which is what? It's archaic. It's a noun. Is it an impudent or ill-behaved girl or woman, a prostitute? All right. Now, this is Old English queen, Dutch queen, Old English queen, or queenie, which means a woman, or Germanic origin. All right. So, a barren cow. So, Queen, queens is archaic. All right. Now I want to go into the word Queen. All right. This word right here. Queen. And, it says an impudent or ill-behaved girl or woman, a prostitute. All right. And this is what I was going into before I had to click it off. I had to take a little break because my phone was dying. So now I'm jumping back on. So hopefully I pick up at the right spot. So now it says an impudent or ill-behaved girl or woman. So that's another word for the word queen. And that's more of a modern term for the word queen. Because in the Old Testament, queen was malakah, which means a female, a wife of a king, a royalty of a monarch, which makes her a monarch once he exalts her to that position. All right. Just being his wife. And you have concubines and such and so on and so on. Meaning, yeah, you have many queens, many wives. All right. But today, then you have something called queening, which would be to women ruling over men. And that's wrong according to the scriptures, as I read a minute ago, with the order that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua set up upon the earth. And also, all right, and also with the scripture where it said a woman should not usurp authority over a man. Now it says, Germanic, queen. All right, I already read that earlier. All right, so archaic just means like ancient or old. So, an impudent or ill-behaved girl or woman, a prostitute. But the thing is, if a woman was ill-behaved or a prostitute, she was considered an adulteress. All right. And there's another different word for that, to be an adulteress. All right. An adulterer. But to be lifted up by a man is to be called a queen, meaning just a woman that's a man's piece, or a wife. All right. Peace meaning P-I-E-C-E, not P-E-A-C-E, but a man's possession. All right. He that getteth a wife getteth a possession. Now, you don't want a whore, you don't want a prostitute, or ill-behaved girl, or what you want is a woman. All right. So, hey man, you know, that's why I want to go into this. You have some people saying that queen just means whore and that's it, but it has more to it than that. All right. Queen also could just be a woman that's a wife of a ruler or a king. All right. She'll be considered a monarch or royalty. This is Deuteronomy 23:17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. So that's why the scriptures say you want to be a daughter, all right, not focus on being a queen. Because in this society, the men, we're not raised up to being kings yet. All right, we're going to be kings once Yahweh shows up and crowns us. All right. was in Revelations where it says, be faithful unto death and I'll give you a crown of life. All right. So, and then we get that crown. When we get that crown, that's when our women will have their reproach taken away completely, and they'll be given new bodies. You know, the nations of these heathen nations will be under them. All right. And when the heathen see them, they'll say Malakah, like a queen or ruler or sovereign. All right. It won't mean queen. It will mean wife of a king. That's what it'll mean. Because the word queen just doesn't exist. It's just Babel. All right. So it'll be Malakah. And it's a different Hebrew word for a prostitute or an adulteress or a wicked woman. It says, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, and nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. All right. So there's no whores, man. It should be no whores. So if they're a whore in this society having sex with multiple men, if they're even spiritual whores, meaning worshiping idols, then they're considered heathen women. All right. They're not even Israelite women. They're not even daughters of Yahweh. They're still Gentiles. So they won't even have a chance at being a princess, a daughter of Sarah, the princess, or ultimately to become a sovereign wife of a ruler. All right. One of the wives of a ruler, which is going to be a man of the Lord in the kingdom, set up to be a king. All right. They're being called to be a prince right now. This is Sirach 42:11. Keep a sure watch over a shameless daughter, lest she make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies, and a byword in the city, and a reproach among the people, and make thee ashamed before the multitude. Behold, not everybody's so we're supposed to keep sure watch over our daughters in this society, man. Why? That keeps them from being whores. All right, becoming whores. So we keep sure watch over our daughters and over our wives, over our women, to keep them from being harlots. All right, and helping them to stay on that right path. All right. Behold, not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women. For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness. Better is the churlishness of a man than a courteous woman. A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach. Wow, man. All right, so that's a little edification on the word queen. You have the word queen, which would be malakah in the Hebrew. And for it to be an adulterous woman, the woman will have to be just that. She'll have to be adulterous. All right, or whore. So in these terminologies, the word queen or queen can mean whore or ill-fated woman, or queening, which means to rule over a man, or just a queen, which goes back to the biblical terminology, which goes back to the wife of a king. So it depends on how you use it. All right, with mind state the women are in, the safest thing to be is to be a daughter of Zion. All right, a daughter. That way you can learn from your father and through your instructor, which would be the man that has the wisdom. Wisdom's given to the men. And the man is able to instruct you, being the voice of Yahweh, to instruct you and guide you to him, to help you endure. All right, and to help you stay out of reproach and keep you, and to cleanse you of your reproach through Yahweh Shai. All right. So I hope that was edifying, man. And if I need to go into it a little more, I will. But yeah, it'd be Malakah. And the term can be used for whore, but it depends on which way you're looking at it. Is it from the archaic view, which would be, they said it's from the beginning or ancient, but how or where, that's what it says, archaic. That's what archaic means. But an adulterous woman, that's what that will be. So how do you say the wife of a king would be malakah? How do you say adulteress? That's another Hebrew word, So I think it's one of them words that's just like the word mark. Mark could mean charagma, or mark could mean tawa, Mark could mean kwai kwai or prick. Mark could mean a person named Mark, or you shoot at a mark, or you mark on the wall, all right? Or a mark, or a cut into the hand, prick into the hand. Charagma, just like queen could mean whore, it could mean the wife of a king, or it could mean queening, which would be trying to rule over men, all right? And all of those, a woman should not be right now. You should be a daughter of Zion, a daughter of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? And a wife to your husband, and a hopeful heir of salvation.